Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters show. It's the 27th of May, 2025, and we're ready for another deep dive.
That's right. We've gone through the latest reports impacting Malaysia's economy and markets. Lots happening.
Yeah, definitely. So let's cut through the noise and get straight to what matters, starting right here at home with some key company results.
Sounds good. Where should we begin? Banks.
Yeah, let's kick off there. AMMB Holdings had, well, a pretty strong year. Record net profit, actually. RM 2 billion for FY 2025. That's up 7%.
And they raised the dividend payout too, right? To 30.2 cents per share. Plus, their asset quality looked better.
Exactly. Net impairments dropped 56%. That's quite significant.
It suggests fewer bad loans. Good
Right.
sign.
Yeah.
But the CEO did mention, global uncertainties could still slow things down a bit. Always a caveat.
Right. And compare that to, say, Maybank. Their Q1 net profit was up, but just 4% to RM 2.59 billion. Interest and insurance helped, but non-interest income was down.
And that's maybe part of a wider trend. Some other banks, like Public Bank, AMMB, their net interest income wasn't quite what analysts expected.
Oh, interesting. So CIMB Securities thinks this might actually pull down the overall KLCI earnings forecast.
Potentially, yeah. So AMMB was strong, but the sector overall may be a bit more mixed.
Okay, shifting gears to tech. AutoCount.com. Wow. First quarter net profit more than tripled, RM 13.65 million.
Yeah, that's huge. And it seems directly linked to demand for their e-invoicing software.
Makes sense with the digitalization push. They're expecting that growth to continue, especially with things like government grants helping businesses adopt these tools.
And IT Max System is also seeing growth, right? Q1 net profit up nearly 12%.
Yeah, RM 20.15 million, mainly from digital infrastructure like video surveillance. That segment's revenue jumped over 64%.
Then there's MyE Services, teaming up with Singapore's SG TradeX, using blockchain, Ztrix, to digitize cross-border trade data.
Right, making things smoother and more secure between Malaysia and Singapore. Fits that whole digital Asian idea.
Definitely. And speaking of big infrastructure plays, U-Mobile signed a massive deal with Telecom Malaysia.
Yes, the RM 2.4 billion 10-year deal for 5G rollout, using TM's fiber network.
Big acceleration for them, aiming for 80% population coverage by mid-2026.
Also on infrastructure, IJM Corporation bagged the new Pantai Expressway extension project. That's RM 1.4 billion.
Analysts seem to like that one. Boosts recurring income, potentially helps with their plans to maybe sell off some toll road assets down the line.
Okay. What about Petronas Gas? There was that pipeline fire back in April.
Yeah, they put a number on it now. Total financial impact around RM 170 million, with about RM 60 million expected to hit this fiscal year's profit.
Ouch. Though didn't their Q1 profits still go up?
It did, yeah. So the core business seems okay despite that incident.
Good to know. And in renewables, Samaden Group won a contract, didn't they?
Yep, RM 100.75 million for a solar plant in Kelantan under the LSS5 program, another step in Malaysia's clean energy goals.
And that ties into that other big energy news. Malaysia, Singapore, and Vietnam exploring renewable energy exports.
Exactly. TNB, Petronas, Sembcorp from Singapore, PTSC from Vietnam, looking into exporting renewable power from Vietnam to Malaysia and Singapore. A new subsea cable involved, potentially very significant regionally.
Okay, quick hits on others. Felda's new bid for FGV, Malaysia Smelting's profit drop due to tax, SD Guthrie seeing lower CPO prices continue.
Hong Leong Bank partnering with Lombard Odier, Opstar stock declining on losses, and Malaysia Airports seeing passenger numbers jump almost 14% in April. Travel's still recovering.
Okay, so that's a whirlwind tour of the companies. Let's zoom out. How does the international picture look?
Well, U.S. trade policy is still a big factor. Trump delayed those EU tariffs until July 9th.
Temporary relief, but it highlights the volatility, right? And that uncertainty, plus U.S. immigration policy shifts, and it's apparently making things tricky for the U.S. Fed on interest rates.
Exactly. Fed officials are saying it complicates their decisions. And that trade stuff is linked to shipping bottlenecks in Europe, too, which could spread and push up costs globally.
Meanwhile, China's pushing for more yuan use in cross-border trade.
Yeah, a clear strategic move from their central bank amidst all these tensions.
Regionally, though, Asia seems to be pushing ahead. Ministers concluded talks to upgrade the Asian-China Free Trade Area and the Asian Trade in Goods Agreement.
Right. Aiming for deeper integration, stronger supply chains, even while acknowledging those geopolitical headwinds and U.S. tariffs. It's a balancing act.
And elsewhere on energy, Indonesia's updated power plan boosts renewables, solar and hydro mainly, while scaling back on gas, though still some new coal.
And globally, central bankers are grappling with inflation, risks, and those U.S. tariffs impacting monetary policy everywhere.
We saw the ringgit and other Asian currencies gain against the U.S. dollar recently, didn't we? Dollar hit a one-month low.
Yeah, linked to U.S. fiscal worries and those trade policy shifts. And interestingly, that coincided with foreign investors turning into net sellers here on Bursa Malaysia after being buyers for a bit. Shows how global sentiment flows.
Okay, so lots of moving parts. But going back to that energy news, the plan to explore exporting renewable power from Vietnam through Malaysia to Singapore, that feels like a really exciting development.
It really does. TNB, Petronas, Sembcorp, PTSC, it's a major potential collaboration, a big step for regional energy cooperation and decarbonization.
Fits right into that bigger Asian power grid idea, connecting the region's energy systems. And with Malaysia chairing Asian this year, it kind of puts us at the center of these initiatives.
It's about tapping into Vietnam's renewable potential and getting cleaner power across borders. Ambitious, definitely, but could be a real milestone for the region's net zero goals.
So here's something to think about then. We've talked about all these global trade tensions, policy uncertainty, U.S. tariffs, shipping issues, currency swings. How might all that global turbulence affect the pace or even the success of a big regional project like this renewable energy export plan?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How does regional ambition navigate that complex global reality?
Exactly. And what does that mean for Malaysia's own growth plans, which depends so much on stable trade and investment? Lots to watch.
Indeed. It'll be fascinating to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. We'll keep tracking these developments, of course. Remember to subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast for more deep dives like this one, getting you the insights that matter for your money.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.